I'm glad to be here. You've been provided with a lot about the why and the context in which this convening was brought together. What I'd like to do with my time with you is to first get comfortable. I hope you are okay with that. And give you a sense of what I hope you'll take away from my presentation with you this evening. So a couple of things that I'd like to start with. First, I'm really interested in strategies that are driven by the communities where the strategies are being implemented. So anytime I talk about community driven, I'm talking about people like yourselves, but I'm also talking about the very individuals that are going to be most impacted by the strategy. Everything that I've done that has brought me here today is a direct reflection of some young men who were considered to be a city's most lethal individual who made different kinds of decisions that impacted gun violence where I was. And so, first and foremost, the work that I'm going to share with you today is about them, those individuals. And those individuals, wherever we land, will drive much of that work. I believe that a big part of our problem is, and a big part of why I end up being asked to come to cities, is because those individuals aren't engaging whatever it is that is available or said to be available to them. And for whatever reason that may be, they're not being engaged and they're not engaging. And we should ask ourselves at the end of the day, why? So throughout what I share with you today, I hope that you will hear sort of the why we believe in the strategy that you will hear about. Second piece that I would hope you take with you is very simple. I want to provide you with sort of another context of why I'm actually here, why I'm doing the work that I'm doing today within the framework that I'm doing it. What do I mean? For about 9.5 years, I served as neighborhood safety director for the city of Richmond, California, up until March of 2016. And my job as neighborhood safety director was to reduce firearm assaults, associated injury and death from a non-law enforcement perspective. So my job and my ability to keep my job was based on whether or not gunfire was reduced. I remember August 30th, 2007, the first day of my job in Richmond. And I remember how many folks said, don't get comfortable. We'll give you 3 months, 6 months, give you 3 years. I decided to take 9.5, and we had a significant accomplishment of gun violence reduction in the city of Richmond. If we had not have, no matter how many GEDs we were able to get young people, how many jobs we were able to get young people, if gun violence wasn't the corresponding response to that, gun violence going down, that is, none of that would have mattered. This was about reducing gun violence. So what I am presenting to you today, and I want you to really soak this up because I think you're getting a lot of poor information about what this is about. This is not, you say this loud and clear, This is not a gang prevention or intervention strategy. Why?
Why?
Most gang members don't shoot. And most shooters are not gang members. This has nothing to do with gangs. Unless, of course, a participating fellow happens to be involved in a gang. This is not about a focus on gangs. This is about a focus on individuals who are suspected of being involved in a city's gun crimes, who are also, or who have also avoided any legal or criminal consequence for that involvement in gun crimes. And I'll talk a lot more about that momentarily. So I want you to understand that, one, it's not a gang prevention and intervention program. And I hope that you'll walk out of here understanding that. I hope that folks taping and recording will stop referring it to that, because that is not what it is. The next thing I want to say, and I typically have folks repeat after me, so I'm going to ask y'all to do the same. This is not a jobs program. Not a jobs program. It's not a GED program. Right? No, it's not that. Now, those things may happen for the individuals that we're engaging, but that's not what this is about. Why?
Why?
Because jobs, or the lack thereof, is not what's producing gun violence. Now, it may encourage the environment, but gun violence begets gun violence. Many of our fellows in the city of Richmond, guess what they had? Jobs. Guess what they were doing? Shooting. And when I hear people say if we had more jobs, gun violence would be reduced, I chuckle, because you're misguided. I say that respectfully. Why do I say that? Because if that were true, then more people in these neighborhoods who don't have jobs would be involved in gun violence. Most people in those neighborhoods where gun violence occurs aren't shooting. Why?
Why?
Right? So, understand, jobs are important. GEDs and educational advancement, very important. But this is about reducing gunfire by direct engagement with those thought to be driving it. Period. So, I want you to leave with that, because I think that's very important. The next thing I'd like you to leave with is sort of understanding how I came to be the chief executive and founder of Advanced Peace after leaving the city of Richmond in March of 2016. I think this context is important for you in understanding the story and being informed, because this is about you being able to be informed, be educated directly from me for one single purpose. Not to tell me whether or not you agree with what we do. I got 36 cities asking me to come. But to tell your mayor and other city leaders whether or not you think this is a valuable opportunity, an opportunity that could possibly have a positive impact on this city. I clearly don't want to be in a city that isn't interested in having us be there. And I love being in the seat that I sit in. I don't have to be. And that's a good thing, because it's important to me that this city drive this forward. It's so important that your voices, one way or the other, be the direct response of whether Advanced Peace is a strategy that's launched in the city of Stockton or not. That's critically important to us. So let me tell you about that and what that means. So December 2014, as I was enjoying my role in the city of Richmond, and as we were upon achieving a 4-decade low in gunfire in the city of Richmond, a venture capitalist-oriented philanthropy reached out to me Draper Richards Capital. I had never heard about who they were. Quite frankly, I thought they were calling to say congratulations and how can we support your work in Richmond. Later on in the conversations, I figured it out. They were asking me if I was interested in finding out if this strategy, if this approach that I will share with you momentarily could work in other places. Larger cities, smaller cities, different dynamics around gun violence. And I'll be honest with you, my initial response was, what will Narissa think? Narissa happens to be my wife. Why is that important for me to tell you? Because I had a nice, cushy government job. My salary is public. Well, I'm not even going to go there. So I knew I was going to have to convince her that this made sense if this was something that I was going to do. And like before I made the decision to go to Richmond, I knew I couldn't go there without her blessing. Being the soldier and teammate that my wife is, she let me know that she was giving me that blessing. And so I went back to Draper, said absolutely. And what they said is, okay, we want to seed the development of your infrastructure. And then as you identify cities, we only need one, but if you can get 3, 4, that'd be great. But we only need one. Then we would go on to support the work. So I agreed. I agreed to leave my employment at the City of Richmond in March of 2016 and begin this process of identifying 2 cities in California, only 2, and 2 national cities to replicate this strategy over the next 4 or 5 years.